I'm going to start my recording. You can start yours. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sync it up. This is in audio jargon, we're going to sync up the recordings. I'm going to clap.
Okay.
And then as soon as you hear my clap, you will clap as well. So here's a first clap. Excellent. I think that's here. I'm going to clap again. Okay. I think we're synced up now. Are you ready to begin? Are you ready to begin the podcast?
Podcast? Yes, I am.
Okay. Welcome back to another episode of Restroom Reviews Presents. This is Go Set a Watchman, the world's only anti-cyberbully podcast featuring real experts and real information to help you, the listener, combat or defend yourself and combat both physically and mentally the cyberbullies that plague us. I'm joined here today by my esteemed guest and colleague. You can actually introduce yourself now at this point.
Hello everyone, I am Yob Goblin, also known as BYOB Goblin. Thank you very much for having me here, Star Wars Betamax.
You're welcome. Joseph. And
my name is Miles.
Miles. Like
feel free to call me Yabe if you would like.
I'll call you Miles. Now for our.
Okay.
Now, will that confuse this is actually an international podcast, so there's some of our international listeners who are not familiar with miles. They're more familiar with kilometers, so I'm a little worried that might actually cause some undue confusion.
Okay, well you can say whichever you want.
Okay, Miles.
Yeah.
Miles, are you familiar with what we hear it? We term the ABCs of cyberbullying.
ABCs?
Yes.
I don't believe I'm familiar.
Okay, the ABCs of cyberbullying, it stands for A, abuse, B, bullying, and C, Miles. C stands for cyberbullying. And that's what we're going to talk about today, Miles.
Excellent.
Miles, how many whales do you know?
Whales? What do you mean?
The sea mammals.
Oh,
whales. I don't know how
I'm
else to say
familiar
that.
with white whales, sperm whales. That's pretty much all I know.
You don't know any other whales?
No, I'm not a marine biologist.
Miles, I was really hoping I had a whole lot of whale related material here. I was really hoping to bounce off of you this evening.
I'm sorry, man.
Okay. What were the two that you listed?
Sperm and white.
Sperm whales and I don't even know.
Oh, and killer whales. Killer whales, too.
Killer whales. I think killer whales are actually dolphins, Miles.
Why is that?
I think that's the definition of them. They're not actually whales. They're dolphins. They have scales.
Huh.
They have scales and gills.
I did not know that they had scales.
Yeah. Well, this is off to a pretty disappointing start. I was hoping you know a little bit more about whales, but
well, if it's possible, maybe we could talk about the shooting that happened near my house.
Did it involve whales or?
No, but I don't know. It's just a topic.
Well, so
I
what?
attended the candlelight vigil.
So tell me about this shooting. Was this a cyberbully related shooting?
No, but it was. It was. How do I put this? It was encouraged on the cyber You
Hmm.
know, we have this kid whose father is a science teacher at a prestigious high school,
Hmm.
and he has a very successful mother and brother and father, as most people I assume do. And well, he
Yes, I know
ended
all
up,
of my family
uh,
members are very
yeah,
successful.
yes. So he ended up just going on 4chan, 8chan,
Hmm.
getting into the whole neo-Nazi ideology and all that,
Yes.
even though that they didn't even last 40 years
Yes.
in Germany. But
Right. They left.
yeah,
They'd
so
certainly left a lot of work unfinished. That's for darn sure.
damn. Um, anyway, so yeah, I don't know where he got the guns or if they were his, but my family
Interesting.
knew his family,
Really.
and they've actually been over to my house before, like
Really.
probably 8 or 9 years ago. They've been in my pool, they've been in my jacuzzi, they've been in my fridge, they've been in my kitchen. You get the
Now
idea.
I need to.
And
I have one question about this. How? Because what stands out to me is something. How? How exactly did they fit in your fridge?
I have no comments. We did not kill and eat anybody.
Okay. Okay. I'm glad to hear that confirmation, Miles. I was a little worried there. Miles, when so this person, would you say that you had a role in radicalizing this individual?
No, I don't even remember him being over at my house. I don't even remember what he looks like.
Okay.
Don't. I didn't remember him or his family at all.
Interesting.
My
And
family had to tell me, yeah, they've been here before and all that.
weird.
Yeah.
Well, I can only say that our we here at the Anti Cyberbullying Defense League that all of our thoughts, and I'm going to go ahead and say
And prayers.
prayers as well. Yes, are with the beleaguered victims of this cyberbullying attack.
Yes. And I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I'm
You're
sure
welcome.
they
You can
appreciate that
actually
too.
yes. And usually, what people do is they thank me specifically for my service. You feel free to go ahead.
Well, thank you for your service and this great podcast here, my friend.
You're welcome. You are welcome. In relation to the news that you just gave me about this shooting, I would like to read a statement. I have a statement prepared.
Okay.
I think it is actually on a different tab here. Hold on.
No worries. You can always edit stuff out.
Yes, I'm not sure how to do that. Wait, here it is. Here's the statement that I had thoughtfully prepared previously. American woman, gonna mess your mind. American woman, she, gonna mess your mind. American woman, gonna mess your mind. Say ah. Say M. Literally say those, Miles. Say ah.
M.
Or
Ah.
wait until I'm gonna say. I'll say ah.
Ah.
Say M.
M.
Say E.
E.
Say R.
R.
Say I.
I.
Say A.
A.
That spells America, Miles.
Okay.
What do you have to say to that?
I think we may have spelled it wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be an I in there.
I I think we did say an I.
Oh, okay.
Let me go through this again. Let me hang on. Let me. I think we may need to do it again. Say ah, or say
Ah.
a. Say a.
A.
Say M.
M.
Say E.
E.
Say R.
R.
Say I.
I.
Say A.
A.
Yes,
Right.
that's how you
Besides,
spell America.
no C.
Um, well, clearly the C, since this is an anti-cyberbullying podcast, I told you that
Ah.
yes, the ABCs of cyberbullying,
Ah.
we've left out the C intentionally. Thank you for
Mhm.
pointing that out for our listeners.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You're welcome, listeners.
Are you familiar
And
for
okay.
are you familiar with Dilbert, Miles?
The comic?
The
Gilbert the comic?
what it's more of a
The funny?
more of a humorous cartoon.
Yeah. It was always in the newspapers and the funnies.
Yes. Are you a fan
Yep.
of comic strips in general, or just Dilbert?
I am a fan of strips in general, but my newspaper doesn't have the funnies. It has the crime log, though. A lot of
Interesting.
vehicle breaking thefts in my area, a lot of burglaries,
Hmm.
with the occasional drunken public drugs and alcohol combo or possession, or like every 2 or so months there appears to be like a rape or some sort of sex crime.
Interesting. It sounds like you live in quite the party town.
Yeah, I suppose so. Uh, we live like in this valley up at the top of the hill or middle of the hill, and
A valley on a hill.
no, we live on the hill, which towers over the valley, and there's a winery down there,
Interesting.
and for like $8 you can get a glass of wine and dance with the ladies, you know.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, like
Miles,
nothing comes out of it, but it's always just like pretty fun to just like have some people smile at you and like get that finger curl over to you, you know.
yes. Is that the going rate to have people talk to you, Miles, is $8?
No, I just like to have fun outside sometimes.
That's good. It's good to have fun
Yeah,
sometimes.
good clean fun, you know, not getting like piss ass drunk and
No.
making a scene and puking everywhere and all that. Nah, I'm past that.
Good.
I like having a beer every now and then, just one.
I'm glad to hear that, Miles, because what we need here at the Anti Cyber League is strong, sober minds who can really take the battle to the true enemies, our true enemies, who are which are the cyber bullies.
Yes. Also, I'd like to point out that in high school I was bullied quite frequently, as well as like some of my friends were bullied as well. So what
Really.
I would do was I would turn the tables on the mouth breathing bullies. What I would do is I would be hanging out with one of my attractive friends, and one of the
Mm-hmm.
guys who slapped my lunch out of my hand
Mm-hmm.
would go, "Hey, baby, here's my phone number." And I'd just be sitting there with my attractive friend, and we would be totally creeped out.
Yeah.
And so then she was just like, "Here, I know what you can do with this." And she suggested that I just like write it in in a bathroom somewhere. And I was just like, "No, no, no. I have I have a better idea." So I
Yes.
go on to this teen dating site, you know, and you know, you know how high school was. It was like a rush of just like emotions and moods. So what I would
I
do,
didn't.
and
I didn't go
I
to high
was,
school.
oh, I was also taking prescription Ritalin as
Right.
prescribed, and
Right.
so being that I was around 70 to 80 pounds at the time, I, it was very potent, very strong. So
Yes.
I became a spaz and all that, and that's why people picked on me. But it also, on the other hand, gave me energy and motivation to just have a little fun with people who would harass and bully other people. So I would take the phone number, I would put it on the teen dating site, I would get
Yes.
a bunch of pictures of the cam whore, and then I'd make sure
Right.
to post stuff like "I love phone sex," "I love dick pics," all this, and then
Right.
so we'd just be sitting in history class, and you could hear the phone buzzing in this guy's pocket, and he
Nice.
would just awkwardly blurt out while the teacher is just like reading something on PowerPoint or whatever, and he's just like, I gotta go to the bathroom," and she's like, "Again? Fine, go." And so 15, 15 to 20 seconds pass, and you just hear, "I'm not a fucking girl!"
It sounds like you really turned the tables on that bully and used a little
Yeah.
cyber savvy of your own, Miles.
Yes. Some people would stop after that happened to them. Other people would just change their phone number, and the process would just repeat until they stopped.
Nice.
And nobody who knew who did it except for my friends and I.
Now,
And in a way, it was just like doing a service to the school, you know.
now, why were these young lads trying to give their phone number to you? Um,
Not me, but my attractive friends.
yes,
They thought, oh, this person's probably easy and all that stuff, you know.
right.
Yeah.
Typical. It's sounds like the toxic masculinity run amok.
Yeah.
Now, I appreciate that that aside, Miles, and it was important information. However, it did divert me from my discussion of this Dilbert comic strip.
All
Uh,
right, let's get back to Dilbert comic strip. Yes,
yes,
please.
because I feel like that's actually what the
Didn't mean to
audience.
derail.
Yes, well, just as long as it doesn't happen anymore, Miles. Because what people
You
tune
got
in
it.
for is Dilbert.
All right, let's talk about Dilbert.
Okay, I'm going to read this comic strip. Now, this was first published in it looks like June of 2009. You remember June of 2009,
June
Miles?
2009. June of 2009. Let's see. No, I do not remember
Yeah,
June of 2009. I believe I was a freshman in high school.
nice. Well, in June of 2009, let's find out what Dilbert was up to. It's in
Yes.
the first frame, or in the first panel, as some like to call them. We have the boss, Dilbert's boss. He's holding up a cell phone with an antenna sticking out of the top of it. He says, "I'm proud to announce that the company has found yet another way to dehumanize the employees." Now, I don't know about you, Miles, but that sounds rather ominous to me.
Hmm.
In the second
I think it
frame,
does. I
yeah,
think it does a bit too.
yes.
In the second
In
frame.
this in the second panel, he says, "From now on, you will wear identification badges at work. This symbolizes that people who look like you are often criminals." And in the third panel, he says, "Oh, and the cafeteria is closed. We'll just lay down some alfalfa in the break room." Sounds like a classic June of 2009 situation if I've ever heard of one.
Yeah, man. I guess you can't have that part of the building open all the time.
No, you can't.
People have to do the graveyard shift, but hey, chefs need to sleep.
That's right. Other Miles, what type of skills do you bring to the table?
Skills? Let's see. I'm a little savvy with video editing. Used to make YouTube poops before. I am decent at composing music when the constellations and planets align and stuff, and I can pull it off.
No, I
Let's see.
no. When I asked that, though, I guess I should have prefaced that by saying what type of, or I should have clarified that. I should say with by asking what type of combat skills do you bring to the table.
Oh, combat skills. Well, let's see. I personally don't have any experience fighting,
Hmm.
but I have, in my earlier days of alcoholism, I have created weapons from various materials.
Such as,
Mostly animal feces or dead bees, or I would take a, a branch trimmer and then just trim a long stalk of a rose branch and get the thorns off the end of a handle. Or
so
I would, I would have, I would, I've never experienced this, but I've seen people throw sand in people's eyes from their pockets. Or I would try to
yes,
make like my own version of pepper spray, stuff like that, just for fun. When
in,
you have like the right amount of coffee and alcohol, and you're just like,
yeah. Yes. So it sounds like most of your weaponry was assembled from items that you found in your yard.
The yard and the property mostly.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
When
I
I
also have
was,
the taser.
oh, have you ever
That's a
been? Have you
base.
ever been tased?
No, but I've licked the end of a 9 volt before, so I can
I
kind of
think
see how
I think
it's a
that's
little
basic.
similar.
I think that's basically the same thing.
It's like getting a like 109 volts in you at once or something.
Yes, exactly.
It's probably more than
When
that.
I was a child, a young child in West Texas, we would take a jar and we would put water and dog feces and grass clippings and dirt and things in it and seal it up and let it putrefy for a few weeks, and then that would be a stink bomb. We would throw it and it would break and make smells. You know, when the stink lines come out of things, you can see the wavy lines coming out.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you lose your balance for a couple
Yes,
seconds.
exactly, exactly. We
Yeah.
would do that to other kids in the neighborhood.
Oh wow, a little mischievous, I see.
Yes, yes. Well, even
Nice.
at that early age, I learned that uh, I had to fight back hard. You know, fight fire with
Yeah.
fire when it came to bullies.
The only way to get a war stopped is to get big enough bomb, out the door, out the
Correct,
window.
correct. And if the other side builds a bigger bomb, what do you do, Miles?
You sabotage their bomb.
Actually, wrong, Miles.
Oh.
You build a bigger bomb.
Oh yeah, it's like the Tsar Bomba of the Soviet-Russian period.
Yes, yes, exactly. I don't know what that is, but I agree with you.
Oh, it's basically a bomb that could have like taken out half of Russia.
Hmm. Well, and we would be in a lot better situation now if they had managed to pull that one off, because with all these Russian hackers with making the president in office.
Yeah, what can you do, All you can do is walk up to some of them and say, "Hey, T, привет, иди
Mm,
нафиг,
nice.
пошел на hajj, T
Huh.
mraz, иди umri,
Nice.
umret." Yes.
Now, what does that mean?
Idi umri means go die.
Hmm.
Umret means die. T mraz means you are scum. When you say
T
when you
T
say T,
Mraz.
it's yeah.
Now
You say
normally
T, it's like TY.
when I think of tea, I think of the and I think our listeners will probably agree with this. I normally think of the beverage.
I agree. I was thinking about it just now too.
Interesting.
Now, when you say T, it's which is spelled TY in America, or the way you're supposed to pronounce it in English. You basically are saying like a disrespectful, informal version of the word you.
Hmm.
So it's meant to be as
Now,
informal and
when you
disrespectful.
but normally when you say you just say you, like YOU.
Um,
Like if I was to say hey you, I would say hey you. I wouldn't say hey T.
yeah, in English it's like that, but in Russian it's completely different.
So they sort of speak English just in a different
A bit.
sort of a different vibe over there is what I'm getting from you.
Yeah, like for instance, photo is FOTO, not
Huh.
PH.
Huh. Well, I guess there's no accounting for taste, is there, Miles?
Everyone's different over there. And cursive is the primary form of writing. If you don't write in cursive, it is it is a sign of uneducatedness. That is what I was told
Interesting.
in my class.
Now, are you a
Now,
Russian man yourself?
no, but I always found the language to be very fascinating and cryptic.
Interesting.
One day I'll be able to pick up a Russian sci-fi book and read it.
What are some Russian sci-fi books that you were interested in reading?
I have none on the table at the moment. I am not sure, but I did glance through a Twitter post that had a bunch of uh, Russian book titles. Oh yes, let me see if I can pull it up here really quick. Or should we begin talking about
As you
something
as
else?
you as you as you pull that up, I'm going to remind our readers of the stop, drop, and roll strategy for blocking cyberbullies.
Okay.
The stop, drop, and roll. We have stop. You stop cyberbullies in their track. Drop. You drop them with a shot to the head. And roll. Now, this should actually probably go in the beginning, but you roll in with your posse when you do this. You need backup. You need backup.
Mm,
So
of
that's
course.
stop, drop, and roll.
And
That's our
witnesses.
strategy. Yes.
Now, I whenever I would have a couple of drinks, I would feel the same way towards all types of abusers, and uh, that goes with animals, sexual abusers, emotional abusers, etc. Because that stuff
People
is
who emotionally abuse animals.
that too.
Yes.
It's a very serious topic, very serious matter. If you remember Fortune and Dusty the cat, that was horrifying. I was shocked.
Truly shocking.
Yes, it's an animal somebody adopted or bought from the store, and the people who sold it don't go, oh, they're going to a nice, lovely home. Quite the opposite.
Hmm.
And people found out, people hacked the YouTube account, got the IP address, and got the guy arrested for animal abuse.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I guess it goes to show that the internet can be used for both evil and good.
Yes.
Much like how this podcast is a force for good in a world of darkness. It's perhaps the
I
only
agree.
force of good, the only force for good.
Now, can we talk about, actually, perhaps I shouldn't talk about my recent, I think you may know about it before, but something happened to me when I was just clicking around on Twitter. Somebody asked me some sexually charged questions that it made me feel very uncomfortable.
Did you did you did you follow the stop, drop, and roll strategy that we follow here at Anti Cyberbully Network?
I followed my own strategy. I was able to instigate him and get him to talk more about that sort of thing. Then I took screenshots and sent the chat to his employers, and I am expecting a call or an email in quite a few days, like maybe a business day.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Well,
I'm probably gonna get him fired because, Starbucks takes that very seriously. They go, well, who do we want working for us and representing us in the shops and the kiosks.
yes, exactly.
You know,
They're if
I
Starbucks
don't.
is anything, they are very discriminating when it comes to who and whom, I might say, they hire in their places of business.
Yeah.
Do you have any preference in pencils?
Pencils. Preferably, I like the Papermate Sharpwriter #2.
Interesting.
Yeah, it has a nice eraser, and you can just like twist the bottom of it to get the granite to come out.
The granite.
Yes, they put granite in pencils instead of lead now. That's what I was
Interesting.
told in the second
Interesting.
grade.
Interesting. So now I know what all those granite mines are for.
Yep, as well as all those slabs.
Yes. Do you feel ready now now that we've warmed up to take another crack at the whale list,
Yeah, let's
Miles?
do it. Let's do it.
Okay, I'm going to ask now. Stand by. I'm going to ask this question again. How many whales do you know?
Beluga, killer,
Interesting.
Sperm, white.
Mm-hmm. Keep going. You're doing good. You're doing great, Miles.
I'm doing great. Okay, okay. Um, um,
You're you're doing.
White Willie. um,
I think his name was Free Willy Miles.
right.
Miles, you're blowing it.
Yeah, I'm blowing it. I'm sorry, man.
It's okay. It's okay, Miles.
Hopefully, this podcast wasn't as bad as the last one.
Well, last week we interviewed. You may be familiar with him. He's a young man named Michael Wheelhouse. He's actually an Australian.
Yes, I'm familiar with them.
Yes. So, and I'm going to be honest. He had good intentions, but he really didn't bring his A game. And I mean, I'm not going to say that it was the worst podcast that I've ever recorded, but it was definitely. Actually, I'm going to say it was the worst podcast I've ever recorded.
Hopefully, this one isn't the second worst. I'm trying to keep some interesting topics on the table, you know.
I think you're doing great. Aside from just the your fumbling on the whale issue, I think apart from that, you've really brought a lot of vibrancy and a lot of new ideas to the podcast, and that's what we look for here at Go Set a Watchman, the web's premier
Excellent.
anti-cyberbully podcast.
All right.
And so, Miles, do you have do you have anything else that you'd like to add? Anything that you'd like to plug or any?
Yeah, sure. I have a Discord called the Tornado of Karma, and it is where we focus on targeting and bringing justice to all forms of abusers, sexual, animal, physical, emotional, and I think it would be great because I think a lot of people get quite a kick out of it, and it would be very satisfying to bring people to justice in the same manner as how 4chan brought the Dusty the Cat to
Yes,
justice.
I think
And I think
we
I
all
think it'd
remember
be a
Dusty
good
the
idea.
Cat. Yes.
I also like to throw out there that if anyone would like to collaborate writing ideas for novels or perhaps maybe one day animated features or Netflix shows or something like that, or
Yes.
just like some sort of internet show or a comic strip or something where we can say, here, I have it written down right here. And let me just make sure I have the correct page.
Take your time. Take your time, Miles.
Okay, I found it. So,
Okay.
this is my idea. The Monster Hunters. Multicultural network of hackers, uh, attackers, thieves, spies, ghost torturers,
Ghost torture. Ghost
ghosts,
ghost
and
torturers.
ghosts. Well, ghosts. It's like you do a crime so well that nobody knew you were there. It's
Understood.
like that.
Understood.
Yes. Arsonists, killers, vegetators, coma chameleons. Vegetators means
Veget-
if the offense is that severe, then they go into a vegetated state or a coma state.
Understood.
People
Of course. Yeah.
who
Right.
act, who have the resources like Batman or the
Mm-hmm.
X-Men, or rather, I say Hexmen, who target the scum of the earth, all rapists, abusers, corrupt. You get the idea. Basically, just all
Yeah.
the scum of the earth. And
Uh,
now I have two different editions for this: Ultra Violence Edition and Pansy Edition. What
okay.
do you think?
Let's hear Ultraviolence edition.
Well, Ultra Violence Edition would bring forth a lot of the torturing, arsony, killer, um, thievery, and well, basically everything that the Pansy Edition would bring, but also just the more severe sides. Whereas
Interesting.
Pansy Edition, you just go in there, you rearrange all their stuff, you take their hard drives or something like that,
Right.
or you hack into their profiles, and then you post all this stuff about wanting to do things to people, and just ruin their life that way. Or in Ultraviolence Edition, it's like that movie. I Spat on Your Grave. Have you ever seen that movie?
I have not.
A woman brings her sexual abusers and rapists to justice in a very ultra-violent way.
Interesting. Does
There's
she
there's
does she
three movies
does she
total, and
spit
I
on their
was
graves?
yeah, and then some.
Hmm. Now, you said at the beginning this would have a multicultural cast. What types of cultures are we talking about here?
Oh, all people except for fascists and bigots.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Well, I think these are all great ideas, Miles. And you said once again your Discord was tornado of caramel, uh,
karma. Or sorry, T
caramel
tsunami of karma. You know, karma. What goes around comes around. If you do
tsunami
something bad happens to you. Tsunami of karma.
tsunami of karma. You heard it here
Yes, sir.
first, folks. Tsunami of karma, and that's your premier location on the web to get a hold of ultraviolet with vegetables. Uh, uh,
um, it's basically just
the
like what 4chan
like
did with the Dusty the Cat
like in the
people.
movie, spitting on the grave.
Well, I have to say this right out so I don't get banned from YouTube and Twitter. I do not promote violence,
Good.
and I do not incite or encourage violence. Whatever you do is on your own. Be safe and don't get in trouble. Whatever happens, happens. But I just have to stand by and say that if you're gonna do something
Hmm.
violent without a whole lot of thought to it or planning very well or saying, hey, am I going to get arrested for this? Well, I did this because blank said it'd probably be okay, and then I could get in trouble myself. I can't have that happen.
I'm giving
Alex
that.
Jones got banned from
I'm giving
YouTube and
that.
Twitter and
I don't
Facebook
know if
for
this is coming.
saying
I'm giving that. I'm giving your statement the anti-cyberbully seal of approval.
thank you, my friend.
You're welcome. Except I would add that yes, violence is never an option unless it comes to cyberbullies, and then we use maximum violence.
Whatever happens, happens. Just don't get me in trouble over it.
That is the anti-cyberbully league credo. And I thank you, Miles. I appreciate your candor. I appreciate
Of
what
course.
you're doing for this world, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon here on Restroom Reviews Presents Go Set a Watchman, the Anti-Cyberbully Network Squadcast.
Yes, thank you for having me, my friend. I look forward to our next encounter.
Yes, thank you, sir. Have a great evening.
You too, as well. I hope you have cheers and beers, my friend.
Your mind. Oh, American woman, gonna mess your mind.